Okay, Ro. This is in response to that YouTube video link you sent me 2 or 3 days ago. I just never got around to responding in this fashion because just saying, hey, I'm not worried is not a good enough response. So what you're looking at right now is Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, specifically at both ends of the yellow line, the area depicted in the YouTube clip that you sent me, the area of danger that where you have this 25,000 foot drop off alleged, where allegedly it's gonna all just fall down and create a tsunami. So apart from the fact that I presume that if we'd had this technology 100 years ago so that Joe Blow could get onto his computer, get onto the internet and do the same studies and come up with the same programs that detect and record volcanoes and earthquakes and such, that you'd see just about the same thing. What's new, I don't believe, is the earthquakes. What's new is the technology for anybody to look at it. And that might explain why it's not newsworthy, because they know better, as opposed to the fellow who made that YouTube clip who thinks that he's discovered the wheel. Anyhow, we see this line drawn between Sosua and the area, the most northern area, the most potentially damaging area to Sosua, to give it the worst scenario. So as we zoom in along that line, because water does travel in a straight line unless it's deviated. Apart from the fact that there are some big time shallows here along the coastline, along our northern coastline, and apart from the fact that this is a worst scenario thing and it would still catch a little tip of the Nagua area to really slow it down and change the path of the water, like bounce it off and head it northbound. But let's just say that it was a really, really big, powerful tsunami and it managed to continue on to a straight line all along to this coast, which is, I don't know, maybe somewhere around Gaspar Hernandez or something like that. The landmass and mountain mass that it has to cross to get to us here in Sosua, we wouldn't even see drops of water, let alone anything with any impact. It just physically can't get here unless it's the biggest tsunami imaginable, which is big enough to take down planet Earth. But if it's a tsunami of proportions, even of the biggest proportion known to man ever recorded, it can't get through those mountains. It just can't. No more than throwing a glass of water at a wall. So, that being said, and there is a possibility that Joe Blow and Gaspar Hernandez, if this fellow's scenario were to come true, could be in trouble. Of course, he and Gaspar Hernandez in that area is next to a mountain range, and we have news reports warning us a tsunami is coming, and anybody and everybody would have ample time to get to high ground. The same applies to us in Sosua. We can jump in our cars, motor conchos, etc., and just go up Camino Gibre or into Los Cerros and get onto such high land that we would watch the show. That's taking it to the ridiculous that somehow possibly a tsunami could come at us. But if it were to come at us, it certainly wouldn't be from the direction depicted in this fellow's video. It would pretty much have to come at us from the north, maybe even a little bit from the west, to ever be able to impact us. And still, this really, really shallow shoreline would serve to break it up. It would increase the speed of the water but it would also lower the height of the wave, which might be half a dozen of one, six of the other. I'm not an expert on tsunamis, but again, the same applies. You hear about it coming, and you just go up the hill. You could, from my house, I could run, as fast as I can run, up over to the street next to the police station, going up Camino Gibre, and get the high ground. Let's just say in 10 minutes flat, I could be in higher ground than any tsunami could possibly attain. So that's it. That's my assessment of the matter. I think that he's crying wolf anyhow, maybe not deliberately, but I think that his deductions are false, that there's no more chance of it happening in the next 7 days than in the next 700 years or 7,000 years ago. Yes, there is an issue there, and it's just no more likely to happen in the next 7 days than it is to have happened last week or 100 years ago. It's just an ongoing issue that now he has become aware of, and thinks, like I said, he's discovered sliced bread.